D-I-L-L-I-G-A-F, dillygaff, and this is what it means. Do I look like I give a fuck, dillygaff? Am I being direct enough, dillygaff? It's just another way of saying I couldn't give a fucking rat's ass, mate. And do I look like I give a fuck, dillygaff? Your turn. Do I look like I give a fuck, dillygaff?
What are we looking at today? Well, several things that were left in the refrigerator. Thought that Agent Chaos picked something that he was going to drink, but I see all 6 of them in there. And Jolson bought some daily use, a little Grain Belt Premium, and he left a variety pack from Samuel Adams. And of course, they always include the regular Boston Lager in there, which is fine because I have these samplers so few in between I forget what I think of the Boston Lager. But this is Flannel Fest. A Munich-style Dunkel, weighing in at 5.2%. It's cozy and smooth. So, this brew review is sponsored by Jolson. Everybody was off today. Jolson was probably he was the first to leave at 9-ish or so. He said, and I quote, "Shit ain't gonna do itself." So he was heading home. And the Chaoses, they had to drive back down to Minneapolis, to catch their flight out because it was more expensive to fly from Minneapolis to Duluth than it was to fly from New Orleans to Texas, Texas to Minneapolis. I tell you though, the last time I flew from Minneapolis to Duluth, the flight time is supposed to be like 23 minutes, and I think we were here in like 16 or something like that. It was like the captain's like, "Yes, this is your captain speaking, and I'm just letting you know that we have reached cruising altitude." "Ooh, we're at cruising altitude." "Hello, this is your captain speaking, and I'm just letting you know that we are on our descent," that's funny, "on our descent to Duluth. 2.5 hours to 16. My best time is 47 minutes. Didn't shoot that bitch. Go, it kind of looks like a Scottish ale. Cheers. No. It smells like some kind of a Munich-style Dunkel. I can smell like 5.2 or so in there. Cheers. Actually, it does have a lot in common with a Scottish ale. Everything except for missing a little bit of that whiskey notes from the cask that it was aged in, but definitely definitely a smooth roasted. The malts on it get a really nice like caramel like flavor to them. Maybe caramel's added. I don't know. Okay. Rifle on deck. Chucky didn't shoot. I don't think I had shot it by the time he was here. It has it's chambered in 308. It is absolutely one of my favorite rifles to shoot. And it has had 2 modifications. It's been smile moneyed. Well, actually, I think you could say the trigger, the Huber Concepts trigger, I could say it was smile moneyed. What I think is funny is, with the exception of it saying Huber, it is right down to the same grooves cut in it as the original one. It definitely, I think it took like 1.5 pounds off. I don't even remember. I know it feels good for what it is, and I replaced the spring that was in it with a with a leaf spring style spring that's in there. Even though I think I had at least prolonged the life of the spring that was in it, it doesn't appear to have any evidence that that was what was in it in the first place. So I might have unsmile moneyed one thing and smile moneyed another thing. See, now technically you can't even say it's me. I had the master of triggers. The trigger guy himself did that. So if something goes wrong, bullshit if I'm the one that takes the blame for it. I was just trying to improve the overall experience while shooting it. It really didn't need that as long as it fired. I mean, even towards the end, it was a single shot, and you had to use a multi-tool, which Sharky provided for that day. You had to pop the shell out of it and put another one in. It definitely did not stop me from enjoying it. J-Dog is here before work. So J-Dog is first, but not sane first. Go away, stupid thing. Jolson is annoying even when he's not here. Rich Huff says, cheers all. Oh, man. And I apologize once again. I was cooking and dumped the video into the editor. Jolson won once again. I apologize to everybody's sanity. My goodness. Well, I'm a day off. It says Wednesday. Rich says, I'm not finding 6 Point in my part of Ohio now either. Yeah, how did they I haven't seen anything up here. Oh my god, yes. Just sorry guys, I'm gonna need a moment of silence, as I would say. I think for overall reasons, Sharky, I honestly think I'm moving her into position number 1 for overall girls in this rotation, and definitely the queen of the redheads. Still like my blonde, not usually something you ever hear me say. Din! Eels up in cider, take a schwat and toot your horn. I just did. I'd like to toot that horn, and I'm gonna go with train whistle because I like train whistle, and I don't find it annoying, but some might. You know, David J. Brown, when you hear this, I know that you are not much into rifles. I'm not even sure I've seen you fire your purebred Colt or police issue carbine chambered in 9mm. I'm not even sure I've ever seen you do that, but I know there's a couple people that are gonna get a little weak, but Mr. Brown, I offer up a little something next time. I'd prefer to use the semi now secret range in northern Wisconsin to set something out. I'll at least let it have a chance at living. It'll be set up at what I believe is the farthest target which I believe is 400 yards. Now, when I bring the rangefinder out there, I will be able to verify, but again, like I said, I'd prefer, I'll probably have something with like the JP, but I think it'd be fun at 400 yards. I mean, to give the guy a little bit of a chance. Like, maybe come up with an honest deal. Each of us gets 5 to 10, well, it has to be 6 to 10 shots. That has to be even number of shots. I can't have an odd number. So 6 to 10 shots from I don't know, maybe he could bring his carbine. Again, that's open sights. And maybe this, again, open sights. I don't even know. Maybe for the fun of it, I could bring Project Overkill. Project Overkill does have a good scope on it, but it's also a 22. So, yeah, I feel that it has to die in a most glorious, just lead. I'm a lead farmer, motherfucker. Yeah. I don't really care at this point in time. Just both. Yeah. Smile money. I rarely wear a seatbelt. I have a large belly that acts like an airbag. Now, if you do not wear a helmet and the little old lady causes you to crash your motorcycle and you end up with head injuries, you will take responsibility for your head, or will you? Well, this isn't addressed at you, Smile Money, but anybody that has these reactions when people don't wear a helmet. Could you say that? Well, I mean, they're already trying to come out with the airbag jacket. So on a day like the last time I was out, and it's 90 degrees now. I mean, I was out in I wasn't out in flip flops, but I was out in tennis shoes and a t-shirt and my sunglasses. And pants and underwear. But I wasn't wearing my heavy leather jacket. I personally don't own leather chaps. I mean, I realize that knowing someone personally like Tim McDougall that had his day bag flip off of the bungee cord and get propelled into the tire, which then rotated around and hit the swing arm and locked up the rear end, and he was busy fighting that hole, and it finally flapped him into the ground, and then he and the bike slid off and went into the ditch, and had no idea how long he was actually there before the first car. I don't even know what they noticed, if they noticed some debris on the road and decided to pull over and saw poor Tim sitting there. But yeah, he had leather chaps and a heavy leather jacket and a fairly new motorcycle helmet, and he still ended up with several facial reconstruction surgeries, and to me, to this point in time, he's not the same Tim that I remember. But just like it was his decision to wear the helmet, it was my decision not to. So yeah, I mean, who do you think if I were to have a head injury but somehow came through and could still have a coherent conversation with anybody, who exactly would it be I would be blaming? It would be I was doing something that I love and I'm compassionate about. You know, again, I constantly say people need to do what this is supposed to be the fucking United States of America. Not all decisions are great, but they're the decisions that I feel people should be able to make. If if they're going on and on about how women say that, oh, you can't vote for Trump because he's against no, he's not. First of all, he's not. And it's kind of funny because Camel Toe Harris, and I know there was something where she came up, but she's a fucking flip-flop. You know, I'm working for people that are smoking dope or vaping dope all day long, and it's like you realize that the person that you think you need to vote for because the fucking mentally ill-bought paid for media says you need to vote for this person, but don't vote for Trump. Trump has actually come out and said he would be all for legalizing marijuana. So, personally, so am I. Don't care. Do I use it? No, I don't. Have I? Yeah, I've done it. It's just never impressed me. All it ever does is it makes me either A, paranoid, or B, I fall asleep. So, on a Saturday night and everybody's passing the doobie around, I'm like, I'll just pass, I'll stick with my beer, because at least I'll be awake having fun, drunk, or out of control, or whatever. Me, personally, I think it's totally silly that it's illegal. And Trump has flat out said he would legalize it. Wishy-Washy, on the other hand, has said both things. So, which one do you want to believe? Hiding Harris or out talking every day Donald J. Trump? Obviously, by this point in time, if you don't know who I voted for last time and who I'm voting for this time, then I guess I just haven't made it clear enough. Trump, 2024. And every single time you run across someone that acts or hints like they're going to vote for Hiding Harris, and you ask them, so you want 4 more years of this? It's always some disinformation, bullshit, lies, or they just somehow think this is natural. Oh, it's natural for the economy always to go to shit when a fucking libtard Democrat is in charge, but yet when it comes to the environment, there's no such thing as cycles. This is all man-made. Who's smoking the fucking dope? Bad says, greetings, Captain. Greetings, Bad. Baby. Want to play around a hidey hole? Agent Chaos, missing you already, Pumpkin. Scotch, your choice. And E3. I probably will at least have to bring this piece of paper with me, and then I can, oh yeah, what did I do with that, Jolson? Jolson drew me out the thing, and I've already managed to lose it. Either way, the only reason that I'm thinking about it is because when he drew it, he drew heavy enough that I have basically I have the whole thing right now, but this is the Agent Chaos board. Hey, have you guys noticed that I spend a large majority of my time talking about shit that I've hidden on myself? Moving on up to the... and a scotch of my choice. Sorry. My shit's falling apart on me. Okay. A scotch. Oh, that's right. He just like nailed it right down. Scotch of my choice. I have to all of a sudden I have to go back to hoarding on the Fable. 14.2. I know, because this bottle, if I scratched a line in it, is probably still somewhere like right in there. And this is the 14.1, heavily peated, 59.6%. I know. Let's do something really weird and bizarre. See, that's what I tell you about fucking double stuffed pepperoni plateaus, and her face is. I mean, don't get me wrong. I could probably maintain an erection, but that's just. Let's do one with the ninja. He was on my possible guesses as to who my guest would be. Would have been nice, because then I could have just handed him the trigger that I've been amiss at. What I'll probably end up doing, Ninja, is I'll probably end up using that trigger and put it in a build, and then I'm just going to have to like buy one and put your address under the shipping, because I just know the way that shit always goes. Then again, because I am a trigger slut. I mean, me and Agent Chaos and Jolson were going through, because I told him flat out, I said, right now, if you ask my opinion, and I wish I was being paid or endorsed to say this, they have been good to me. Hyperfire. I mean, Hyperfire has sent me stocks, 2 stocks, and I think 3 triggers up to this point in time, and their top trigger is just over the top. I mean, I can't say enough about it, and I let him fire both the Eclipse, which is their top one, the one with the adjustment U-assemble it springs. And then I let him try one of the cartridge ones that's in the run and gun, more like finish my so much and shoot at you gun. And he was equally impressed. The only reason that I would push someone towards the Eclipse is if maybe a pound and a half is too light for you. You just don't want that. It's a simple. It's less than without having to read the directions, and I had to fight my way through memory, which could be a problem right there. It's about 12 minutes to change the trigger pull poundage on an Eclipse, because it comes with 3 different sets of springs. And as a bunch of you already know, when I put it together, I just stupidly assumed that the lightest trigger pull was the really ultra light looking springs. I mean, it kind of makes sense in my brain. Well, not the way the Eclipse trigger works. The smallest, lightest springs are the heaviest trigger pull. And the big, massive, looks like a suspension out of a RC car, those are the ones that get you a pound and a half or 2 pounds max. And they also are the most reliable as far as light primer strikes. Like 0 chance you're going to have a light primer strike. So, the Hyperfire, hands down, is the best AR platform trigger that I have ever put my finger on. After that, I do like the Folds of Honor. For the money, those Palmetto State triggers are pretty sexy. I got one in Overkill, and there's one that was fitting the criteria for the JP Killer. More like the JP Dust Collector. Just put it in my carry-on. Mr. and Mrs. Chaos. It was truly a surprise, evidently in the works since fucking April. And it's just, I say this all the time. Glenn and Christy, if they lived 5-10 minutes away from us, just true like-minded thinkers. Glenn said the only problem is if a bunch of us, like, you know, Jolson and Teresa and Jeremy and Caitlin and the Chaoses, and I could just keep going on. The Nihappians, John. If we all lived in our own community, we'd have to put it as a gated community so that somebody wasn't always getting arrested. Cheers. Woo! Kind of made me feel for a moment like if I lit a flame, I would be able to make a flame, and then it just jets down your ribs. I don't know if it happens to everybody, but it's just like it just goes. Oh, so I cannot be yelled at for failure to mention. Possibly Poco. I don't know. It might be that one neighbor that you. And Mrs. Poco, what I know about her so far, I think she's cool. I'm not exactly sure how she got roped into being with Poco, but it's a side story. And McLean, I feel I almost have to check in on him. I haven't actually heard from him in a couple of days. That's actually unusual. Hang on, I'll just shoot something and and Phil, get you out of well, I guess we could have him up, which he evidently gets his comment dorked every single time. Have him up, and he could be in charge of the livestock because he truly loves that. And I'd also make sure that you were provided with your own little herd of dogs, because he's just you know, I'm just going to throw this out there. Have you noticed the correlation to some of the greatest people that you know are also animal lovers in general, let alone dogs? Personally, I like dogs a lot more than I like most people. This is just a proof of life check on you. I'm going to send him a couple pictures from when we were out the other day. I tell you, it has just been the most awesome, like, 5 days. It was just truly a great time. But yeah, again, to imagine a situation where you know, instead of having to send him an email, we could just walk across the street to Smile Money's house and fact check shit. EMT Railfan, he can be in charge of the community train, and of course, I mean, he's a paramedic. Him and Wade, they can be in charge of that. I mean, Wade is not worth a shit anymore because I know he's like retired, and that's by choice. But I'm sure this still works. I mean, he can just show up, and I could put together one hell of a community, and most that I would feel safe about is coming out of this list. Smile Money, it is not what you see, but who showed it to you and told you that you saw. Still waiting for the Kraken to be released. Judy owes 2 election workers in Georgia $148 million for slander. I'd like to know how that works out, because, you know, what if someone like sued me? What is it that exactly you're gonna take? I mean, fine, I owe you $148 million. I'll tell you what, I'll send you $1 a month until we're even. Oh yeah, you're gonna take my stuff. Pretty sure by the time you got here, all my stuff would have been stolen or something. I got some video footage of some guys in masks carrying stuff out. Then had work Saturday and Monday. Fucking rivet, man. Smile Money, good review. The Ranger orders placed after 7/10, expected to ship September 2024, so at least when you get back from Maine. Smile Money, that is an honest concern, not about the camera. I mean, that's fine. I just figured it would probably be here by the time I got home. But I still review stuff for some good sponsors, and means I know Crate Club shipped battle boxes usually before Crate Club, and if any of my flashlight guys I don't know, that's a scenario that happened to one of my YouTube friends, and I usually can find him when I do a search, but it's something prepper. And he wasn't always something prepper. His original, the way he talked, he never showed himself initially, and the way his bench looked, he reminded me of Matt Reisner, Rise Arms. And towards the last few years, his channel kind of grew, weirdly, out of reviewing shit. He gets tack pack, he gets 2 tack packs, just like I was towards the end. One to review, one to give away, a little giveaway every single month. He did, I can't remember if he was doing Battle Box or not. The long story short is that all of a sudden, he just, no more videos. How long? I mean, how many fucking boxes are possibly, I mean, if something happened to him, I mean, that's the thing I hate about this. So many of us interact with each other. Usually if something bad happens, you hear about it through the grapevine, but it's I mean, for me, for instance, if something happened to me, you guys would all immediately know, because Christine would post something, and Lindsay, yes, and it would be out there, and within an hour, probably everybody would know that something happened to me. The way my life goes, I'm sure something will happen to me, but there's other guys that it's just like say Mr. AK-47 Master. I might have his cell phone number, but that would have been a cell phone number from like a decade ago, so calling her shot. I would take a Chris Vector, even though I love 10mm. I would honestly want that in 45. That is the platform for which it was built. You put a can on that, and you have something to sweep the house, and I wouldn't have to worry about waking up Mike and Michelle when I adios the garbage. Mike says, cheers, hoser. Sharky says, yeah, eh? Cobra says, hello there, Cobra. Cobra would be another one, because as a large community goes, you would always need that guy that just builds Star Trek models and has a whole bunch of Hot Wheel cars. Cobra's your guy. As Cobra would already know, you know, I would be on, I'm on risky territory just to declare this, but I've already had this conversation with Matt and Miles, so I guess what the fuck, it is what it is. Known Cobra a long time. Both me and Cobra have gone through some difficult times, and it's always nice when you can help someone out that you feel is more than a friend, and that you probably like more than you would like your own brother. Maybe, depending on if your brother was a Democrat or not. But to this moment in time, I have never had the pleasure of shaking Cobra's hands. I hope someday that that happens. And on another vein, going back to like Agent Chaos and Mrs. Chaos being here, usually, you know, our September is like packed with to have just Glenn and Christy here, and then joined, you know, 3 days later by Jolson. It's exactly what we talked. Me and Glenn talked about years ago. As much as I enjoy the whole, there's 47 guys and gals here, but to be able to have the time, you know, one-on-one. I mean, we took them in a different direction every day we went out. We didn't just, weather was, you couldn't have asked for better weather. There wasn't a moment that the weather wasn't incredible, and a lot better than New Orleans. But we took them in a different direction and did something different every single day. So, you know, if they were here for 2 more days, I'm not exactly, well, we could have gone to Wisconsin. We could have got park passes, state parks over there too. Okay, yeah, we could have done a couple more days. Me and Christine have been wanting to go to Amacon Falls, and we can without paying anything extra. We just haven't got around to it yet. But yeah, even me, that was the first time I've even been to the Jay Cook State Park, where you get out and you can walk the trails, and the swinging bridge, which was bridge number 5. The water rushing down the St. Louis River has been so intense a few times that the bridge is gone. And like Glenn was saying, he goes, God, I can't even imagine that. Right now, the bottom of the bridge has to be more than 20 feet over the water. And yet, this is exactly where it's been when they rebuild it. They rebuild it from ground level to ground level. They're not making stairs to go up to it. They put it back in the same spot. They just try to build it a little stronger each time. And this is bridge number 5. And we stopped at one overlook area, and you could see the St. Louis River going through there. And just to imagine, I told them, I said, now try to imagine that there's the shore right now. The shore was way up here, and at least 2 more blocks that way into what is now the forest. That was all rushing water. It looked like a high flow lake. So, yeah, we can get some they might even be experiencing nasty shit by the time they get home. I hope not. Cobra, does painting multicolored flags or symbols meet traffic code? Isn't there a standard to follow for traffic safety for roadways and intersection markings? Same for protesters blocking public roads and interstates. This can block vital emergency vehicles, not to mention holding citizens hostage by impeding their rights to travel. But hey, you better wear a helmet and buckle up, or Big Brother will get you. Smart Money says to him, Governor Tampon loves Eric so much. I may have changed that. And Cobra says, #blessed. Personally, if a protester is in the way, I'm going to let them choose. I will put it in drive and just let it idle through under its own power. You will not fucking stop me. And as far as I know, there's been a few of these instances. I know Mr. Fact Checker will look into this, but there's been a few instances where, if there's a crowd and you feel that your life is threatened, I don't give a fuck about the piece of shit handcuffed to another piece of shit in front of me. I am going to accelerate with the intent of keeping myself safe. And what happens to you? Fuck you. That's why the shifter in the truck has high range and protester mode. Smart money. If you ever win a multi-million-dollar lottery, I will have a shoot-a-palooza at a luxury resort for 2 or 3 days with long-range training course. The host night will be sponsored with an Octomore whiskey tasting party with lagers, stouts, porters, chasers. The 20 people would be selected by ranking system of Smile Money subscribers to prior to 2024 and submit a VR that busts Matt's balls. The videos will be ranked by team of me, myself, and I. Disclaimer, void if lottery is not won prior to November 2024. That's fucking good. I miss the days of those titties. I mean, VRs. It's like everything good that YouTube used to have is gone. And it's like, I don't know, I guess if their sales keep going up and they cater to non-patriots and now you're evil if you show how to reload something, if you talk about what is medically safe, if you talk about how you feel, your feelings, YouTube. Wow, I always thought there was kind of a little clue in the name, but evidently it's you can't even leave a bottle ship shot without the possibility of it being deleted. So they've just pulled a lever on my channel and they're like, this fucking guy calls us WokeTube. He says you should never go see the rock group Poison and have Bret Michaels put his thunder into your veins. And yeah, because if you do, I mean, we are living basically in complete communism on YouTube. YouTube endorses communism, and freedoms are out the window, and blah, blah, blah. It's a privately owned company, and it was great until they fucked it up as far as I'm concerned. Tom says, no cowbell. Okay, that does rate as an overwrite. I already overwrit one, so he's got the power of... There's a power of one already implemented. Salty. It is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see nakedness. Aristotle. Multi-gunman sub-comments. Wise men talk naked because they have something to say while naked. Fools because they have to say something about being naked. Plato. Salty, back to him. True, naked. And Mr. 27, I thought he would actually have them, but he just says wise, naked words. Do you know that, just as an example, I don't know, Smile Money can find this for everybody, but the CIA has done, well, I believe a lot of terrible things over the years to people, but as far as U.S. citizens go, they did a little thing. They had a supposed room full of people where only one was the test subject, all the rest were actors. And they did something like they They put something up and the obvious answer was obvious, but everybody said the wrong answer. And by the time they got to the guy who was the real test subject, he went along with what everybody said, even though he had to have known it was wrong. That is kind of the situation in our society right now, is the people that will actually stand up for what's right, even though that you are going to be mocked or criticized, or in the case over here, constantly wondering, is this going to be the next strike? Because now I have a warning for nudity on a video that they normally just pull the thumbnail. Now I'm being prosecuted for the whole thing. Delete the whole video. By the way, I put the video up on Rumble, WokeTube. So if you want to see Brett's Bloody Mary review, it's on Rumble. And because of the way YouTube acts, anytime that I get anything against me on WokeTube, I put it over on Rumble. I used to do this every time, but it was to the point where, why do I fucking bother? I waste my time uploading it, answering their questions, filling in the description, blah, 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 blah. So after a fucking year, 4 people watched the video. And that's why nobody really likes Rumble for situations like we're in. On the other hand, people like Styx, that's the only place that I watch any of my political stuff. There is not a single political person that I follow on WokeTube, because they all have to watch what they say so they don't get their account deleted by communists. Poco says rum. Sharky says for the hills. Multi-Gunman says I'm here, now what? You have to drink. Mr. 27 says beer, basement pops, and you know, the usual way. Make America great again. Never vote for a fucking Democrat, because they all are un-American communist pieces of shit. Mrs. Poco Loco says she has 6 tattoos. Nice. Well, as long as none of them are on your face, I can at least put up with that, because these days the old tattoos seem to be getting pretty popular. And thank you, Mrs. Poco, for answering my question. Jolson says, that's some quality cowbell. No, it's not. Cheapo Gunga, I believe that life is a game. That life is a cruel joke. And that life is what happens when you're alive, so you might as well lie back and enjoy the chaos.
Macho Biden! Macho Biden! Macho Biden!
Thank you, Cheapo Gunga. And she's got a tattoo, and I would still spank that ass. Wade, I've gotten too old and set in my ways to do much traveling, according to my wife and cardiologist. I think you as family and always will. Think of you as family, yeah. Wade, you are, well, as you already know, without me saying it here in the realm of forever, I've known Wade for a long goddamn time. And me and Wade, there's a reason that the two of us are, I think we both just turned 3. The reason that, well, like a lot of you, but with me and Wade, there is too much correlation on how we think, how we act, and the fact that we are going to do everything we can to never grow up. Wade, I love you, and I hope what is going to be a business venture, not starting tomorrow, but I could definitely put the star on the calendar and said, this is when I got all of the equipment and have all of the tools, and now it is just up to me to find the business and make some money. And if I can, and I'm working for myself, even though that guy's an asshole, if I can do if God please grant us the patriotism and the power to put the right person in charge of our country for at least the next 4 years, Donald J. Trump, so that I can actually run my own business, pay my bills, and put a fucking shit ton of money aside like I did last time Trump was our president, and not a goddamn dollar under fucking Biden-Harris. So please, Democrats, answer this question. What do you think you're gonna get in the next 4 years? Because we are as fucked as you can be in the last 4 years. And you've got someone that's bragging and talking about how on day one she's gonna fix the fucking shit that she hasn't fixed in 7 years that she has been a political figure. Not a single thing. A lying fucking piece of shit that is a member of the swamp and a glorious member of You're a Fucking Retard Club, because they're doing everything they can to not debate Donald Trump because she is a fucking piece of shit and cannot debate. Biden would do much better against Trump right now than fucking Potato Salad Head could ever do. Long dissertation to tell you, Wade. I hope Trump gets in. I hope my business venture is viable. I put money aside, and me and Christine come down and spend at least a week with you and in Mississippi. Mr. 27 says 29th. Then he said, these guys again. Then he says, more cowbell brew bomy. That is not acceptable. Then he says, teat squirrels? The crazy that the brew bomy show. Sharky says, cheers all. Oh crap, more Jolson. Gonna be a train wreck. Here we go. And all of a sudden, out of blue, I mean, he just said, what? 29th, and I was told there was 50 comments. Last comment 4 or 5 hours ago was Sharky saying Fox Trot 5. F5 is a misdemeanor. On the initial reset, there is only one of you in the club. Only one. It's okay. I can talk for another 3 hours. I'm a professional. Flannel Fest from Samuel Adams. I mean, the closest taste, like if you're going, I don't have a clue what Flannel Fest means. If I said to you, but do you know what Scottish ale is like? It is like that, but without, I mean, it's completely different. But I'm kind of putting you in the same seat, but the road is just a little less curvy with this. It doesn't quite have that bourbon kind of characteristic that a Scottish ale has, but it's like, this would be like the perfect base for a Scottish ale. Just a smooth, nice caramel, deep notes to it. Overall, they do okay. I mean, there's one more, and I'm gonna have it and bring it with me. So, I mean, I remember when people actually used to say that Samuel Adams was a microbrewery, but obviously that's no longer the case. Unlike like some breweries, 6 Point, And where is Dogfish Head? I wish someone always carried their stuff. I haven't seen Dogfish Head 120 in, what, a year now? So the microbrewery of Samuel Adams, I'd give the Flannel Fest, I give it a 7.5. And like we've already talked about, today's incredible rifle has not been shot by Sharky. And the weapon of choice is Joey's M&P compact. And the only the only shiny bullet I have, Sharky, oh my god, is a 10mm. And it does not want to manually feed off of the magazine. We will not, Joey, we will not fault the gun for that. I know because of the chambering it is not going to go all the way, but it will go enough to test the shininess factor. And I could not, even if I wanted to, it's all disengaged. So, hey, maybe I can go through my drill bit collection and I'll just chamber that out a little bit, Joey, and make a... Can you imagine if Smith & I mean, Glock has done it. Not only have I never owned one, but I've actually never shot the G29. I have to say, and I blame NIHAP for this, I would be very content to own a G29. I just have... It's never been on the agenda. I've never run across one when I had money, and but yeah, I'd carry it. I mean, I don't know. Right now, my pitter-patter heart is waiting on the day I can get my hands on the FNN 510, because I'm wondering, the tactical, threaded barrel, desert sand, optics ready, could that be the HK killer or not? I don't know. When you get the FN 510 in their tactical, and again, I don't. I mean, if FNN said, "Hey, we heard what you said, and we feel sorry for you because you're a loser, and we're just going to send you an FN 510 tactical, but all we have right now is black ones, so that's what we're going to send you." I mean, I wouldn't get pissed off. I just really love the way that desert sand one looks. And I've only got one gun that looks like that, and that is the questionable 80%er. But yeah, I am wondering. I mean, the problem is I know the HK just feels so natural in your hand, and you'd be like, obviously the grip has to be bigger for the 10mm versus a 9mm. But eventually, when Donald Trump is our president, and Americans understand what patriotism and prosperity is, shit. Hang on, I'm just finishing the review and I'll be right out. Mike needing smokes. There's a fucking weird thing. Rich Huff says, cheers, clubbers. I'm going her first, but if I'd had to start here, I would be starting like this. Cheers, Rich. If the light's green, the trap is not clean. Bad says, hi, clubbers. 6 minutes ago. That's how long I've been blah, 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 blah. Light's green, trap's clean. Hell yeah. I'd lick watermelon off of those. Okay, tomorrow, maybe. All I can tell you is the next 2 days are maybes. I got a lot of shit. I got a lot of shit to do. It could be possible. It could be a big fail, but my business venture into my own business starts tomorrow with the purchase of all of the equipment. And I don't know if we're going to be here tomorrow. Thursday, possibly. Friday, the time that I would normally be here doing this, I believe I will be in the air. So, we'll see. Cheers.